Oh boy, we're live and we're starting a little late. Sorry about that, folks. I had breakfast with my wife and then I had to use the potty. So, starting up a little bit late today. Oh, Mr. Booth. Hello, how are you doing? So here we are in wonderful Whacky World. I was playing with my volume settings, so let me know if the game sound is like too loud for my voice. That tends to happen when I get in near the coasters. Okay, cool. Now, are you Mike Booth from Planet Bro Coaster, or no? I'm getting confused. Huh? That's Mike Sheets. That's Mike Sheets. Never mind. Never mind. I'm old. I get confused real easy. So, anyways, what I'm going to be working on this episode. Or this live stream. I'm going to turn the volume down just a wee bit for myself. So it's a little bit loud in my ears. Anything in particular you want to see? There we go. That might be a little bit better. So the last episode of Whacky World, like official, that I released was building this back here. So I do have like half a mind to kind of finish this little area. And kind of tie this off and put some more scenery on the front here. It's just on the thumbnail. Is it not? Whoa, it's just on the thumbnail. No video? That is not correct. That is not correct at all. Okay, so... let me see here. I got to go look at it myself on the watch page because there should be video. On the watch page because there should be video. On the watch page because there should be video. What is it doing? What's it doing? What is it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing? Oh, this is strange. Mine's not even playing for myself. Mine's not even playing for myself. Mine's not even playing for myself. All right, let me see. What is going on with this? I've never had this problem before. Now I look like a total noob. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. It's not capturing the game. What the heck? What? Well, I see what the problem is. There we go. That should be better. Oh, man, I goofed it up. That's what happened. I got it now. Terrible. Terrible start. All right, I got to go pop back in here really quick. Sorry. Sorry, I'm a noob. My recording software was broadcasting the wrong game, and since that game is not on right now, the screen was black. All right, let's see if I can get this straightened out. Okay. Just typing something in chat. So it should be working now, I would hope. Yep. Man, I really goofed that up somehow. I don't know how I managed to bungle that, but I'm a complete dummy. Complete dummy. Yes, there we go. Now it's working. Okay, good. Yeah. Sorry. No. It's working. It's working for me when I watch the stream in another browser window. So it should be working now. I'm just going to open it up in a whole new tab or a whole new browser really quick and just see what it's doing. It should be or a whole new browser really quick and just see what it's doing. It should be or a whole new browser really quick and just see what it's doing. It should be. Ooh, Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay. God, that was a rough start. I'm a complete dummy. I started late and then I had the wrong game going, so woe is me. Let me make sure I don't have any other silliness going on. Okay, so now getting back on track. Last like official episode, I kind of built this up in here, and so I do kind of have half a mind to go in and kind of finish off this building and just kind of clean this stuff up. I also would like to start working on the ride photos over here. And I kind of think maybe I want to start with that this episode, because that's just kind of fun. I'm going to leave the torch cam on. Yeah, I think I want to start with the ride photos in here and just see what they're going to kind of look like. So what I'm imagining is when you get off the ride exit and you walk down the stairs over here, and then you get off right here, this is where the ride photo booth would naturally be, right? I think so. And so we'll just start building a ride photo building right here, and we'll just see how it looks like, and then I'll decorate it a little bit with some of this scenery. I think this building will be easier to finish than the one that's over by the Kraken. Now, if you don't mind me asking, Mike, are you a regular like subscriber, Planet Coaster viewer on my channel, or are you just popping in for the live stream? I can't keep track of everybody, so I forget. All right, so let's start with my favorite piece, the 1M wood post. That's just to get our building going, and we'll kind of turn the grid so that it lines up with the pathway a little bit. Okay, cool. I wanted to say that your name is familiar. I think I've seen you somewhere in the comments before. Okay, so now that we got that, I want to put down some of the video screens, and the easiest way to get everything nice and flat is to just use a big sign. So let's go in here and find a nice big sign, or the flag. The flag works too. But no, I want a big one of the big neon signs, like this ugly thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's gonna line up nicely with the post, and then when we go over, we want some video screens. These are down here in the screens. Is there anything in particular, since I don't have a lot of viewers right now, you know, I can kind of cater the stream to you. Is there anything in particular that you wish to see today? And it's the 1M TV screen that you got to go with for the ride photos. And I'm just going to make like a little 3x3 grid with these things and space them out about that far. And kind of drop it down, and then we'll drop them down one more time. And then let's see, we need to set the image. I've already got the screenshots like all sorted out, ready to go. And I think I fixed the issue where they show up too bright. Hello, Luke. How you doing? You didn't miss it. We just started. It was a rough start. I'm recovering from a bad start. Okay, so that Temple 1, Temple 2. We want Temple 3. Temple 4. Temple 5. Temple 6, yep. You wonder I wonder if I can be a guest. You mean like with the Tegid cam? 7. Looks like I need more more screenshots for this ride. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna delete those two. Actually, no, I take it back. I'm gonna delete this one, and I'm gonna delete that one, and I'm gonna put the last number 7 in here. So there we go. We got some nice ride photos. What do you mean by if I can be a guest? Do you mean if I like there's this little thing where if you click on someone and type Tegid cam, like now I'm a guest, and I can walk around at guest level. Is this what you mean? Like walking around as if I'm a guest and looking at stuff? I'll hit escape to get out of that. Okay, so now I don't need this big board anymore. These better all be part of the same building. Yeah, okay. So we can delete that. And then we need to add the little TV holders. These little guys. Which ones do I want? I think I'm just going to use the small ones. So, easiest way to do it, click on a screen, hit X. And then we'll set this. Thank you, green arrow, for blocking my view of where the scenery piece is. Okay, see you later. Okay, and let's get this little guy here. Really, the green arrow has to, like, obscure where the little scenery piece is, huh? That's not cool. Okay, now I can kind of see it. Yeah, okay, it's good enough. And then if I select these three, duplicate, and lift them up. Okay, so we got our nice little TV array. And then I like to take the TVs on top and kind of tilt them down. Let's tilt them down 15 degrees each. Luke, is there anything that you particularly would like to see today? Or are you just kind of cool with me doing this? Wait, it glitches out on the live stream. Message retracted. If you're having issues with the stream page, try like refreshing your browser. That might take care of it. I kind of had a rough start with the stream. I was broadcasting the wrong game because I'm a dummy. And let's see. So we're gonna kind of set these TV screens back like so, and kind of center them a little bit. And then we need a nice little shop for the people to interact with. And I want to put a little ATM in here too, like I did with the other one. So let's go over to shops and facilities, and let's find our ATM. And oh, this is gonna let me. Oh no, it's not gonna let me put it there. It's blocked. What is the deal? Why can't I drop the ATM right there? All right, I probably need to make it its own building. That's weird. Did I keep, when you say did I keep the animatronics, you mean the ones that are on the path? The two little guys that were shooting at each other? Let's see. Is this going to work? Yeah, that's good enough for me. I'll put that little ATM right there. Do you mean the two little guys that were over here? No, I took them away because I started working on these planners. But I'm gonna revisit that idea later with the two animatronics like shooting at each other from across the path. Maybe I could make signs to show where the rides are and what names they are. And then also, did I keep the animatronics? Yeah, I need proper signs. I need proper signs. Like I want to have a like a larger sign right here that kind of says Hidden Temple, and maybe something else right here that says Hidden Temple. And I want to have one for the Kraken. Like as you get closer over here, it says like Kraken Voyage or whatever. And then, of course, I do want to have like little ride map things, kind of like when you're in the mall and it's got the information thing and it tells you like where things are. I want to have those. However, those would be kind of hard to do on a live stream because I've never done it before, and so it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to do it. And then the other thing with making those... Okay, welcome back, Mike. And then the other thing that would be hard to do with those is, you know, I'd have to be making graphics in like a Photoshop type deal in order to pull that off. The signs would be on the paths, point to the rides, and have the names of rides on the stands. Yeah, I'm gonna make some signs and stuff like that. But in order to do it, what I want to do is I want to pull in, like I want to create the signs, the font and text. I want to create it in a photo editor first, and then import it on a billboard. And then once it's on a billboard, I'll use the shapes to make the sign. And that's going to be kind of like a long convoluted process. And I don't think that's going to translate well to the live stream per se. Although, you know, I could try it. I could try it. Let me go ahead and flesh out this building a little bit for a second. And then if I can, maybe I'll try to do that. I'd have to set up a new scene in OBS to record my desktop while I make the font and stuff. But, you know, we could probably look at it. I could see if I could do that. Let's go ahead. Let's kind of flesh out this photo booth really quick, though. And so what we need is we need a piece that's going to make like a good little floor section on the wall. Can I ride the Kraken once? You've never seen it before? How's that possible? How's that possible? I ride the Kraken on every stream. It's everybody's favorite ride. Okay, we're going to set this right here. Yeah, I'll ride the Kraken. Let's put down some floor. Or put down some of this building really quick. And so let's see. I think come out to about here. And we'll just kind of go across on the floor here. And this is going to need to kind of bump up with the ATM just a little bit. I'm thinking maybe this one needs to kind of come back and line up where the ATM is. And same with this one. Mike Booth has a playlist of Whacky World. Yes, I have a playlist of Whacky World too. It's very long. It's got over 100 episodes in it. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna set that there. Now all of these need to come down a little bit. So we'll select them all and we'll just kind of lower them a wee bit to about there. And then this this post that is the building, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it back in the terrain there. And these little scenes, or screens, not scenes, I want them to go back further. Okay, and then we need like a tabletop, some sort of tabletop piece. So, yeah, let me work on this building just a teeny bit more, and then we'll go ride the Kraken one time. Let me see here. I just want like a flat tabletop piece like this. Temple block will work good. Get the angle snap. It also could be, Luke, that you missed the part of the stream where we did ride it, but almost every single stream, everybody asks for me to ride the Kraken, the Kraken Voyage. It's a neat ride. Yes, it's very nice that you can ride your rides in Planet Coaster. I would be inclined to say that the game is completely broken if they didn't allow that feature. Like, what would be the point? All right, so we're going to put like a couple of these just like this. So this little kiosk thing is going to be kind of embedded in here. And, you know, I think that one's too big, because we want it to look like this little space is open. I'm just going to use these like 1M all around. In Parkitect, if you tried it out, you would need a mod to ride rides. Well, I guess it's kind of cool that they at least support the necessary mods that would allow you to do it. A lot of people take for granted mod support in games, but incorporating mods is not easy. Not easy. And we're gonna kind of no, I think I'm gonna use the big flat one right here. This will get it done faster. So we're just gonna kind of build a floor, and I'm gonna need to push this terrain back a little bit. It's getting a little unruly in here. Push. How far is flattened to foundation gonna get me in here? I don't think it's going to work very well because of the path. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. Like, the graphics are so good, but you can't ride your rides. You're talking about Parkitect? Hello, Skittle. Welcome. Nice that you could make it. Thanks for watching the ARC live stream as well yesterday. Nice to have viewers in there. All right, this is working. It's letting me push these back a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to set that a little bit like that. And so now we've kind of got this little building fleshed out and good. The people are walking up and using the ATM, so it's going to kind of look like they're interacting with the ride photos. I still think I need to push the screens back a little bit further. I didn't get all of them, though. Just a little bit further, and then we need like a wall back here, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, stand it upright. And I'm looking at where it starts to intersect the little screen support down there. And then let's see, we'll go up to about that tall. And then we'll come over this way. Okay. And I'm not going to like fill in the whole building right now. I just kind of want to get like the basic idea of what it might look like. And we also need a way for the supposed attendant who could be in here to get in and out. Now, what some people like to do is, of course, I have the ATM here. Looking like people can come up and get their photos and stuff like automatically. But some people also like to go over to the animatronics. And I guess since this is Adventure Pack, we might want to limit it to Adventure and see what kind of animatronics we have in here. Now, do we have a guy that... We've only got these two, huh, that are people. And this guy's digging. What happens if we tell him to stop moving? What's he end up looking like? So if we activate on a trigger, he ends up like that, huh? So what some people like to do is they like to take the animatronics and make them look like they are the attendant in the booth when people build things like this. Hi, Jackson. How's it going? I don't know if I'm going to keep him in there. I'm just going to leave him in there for right now, just kind of like as a little demonstration. And then, so now that we got snazzy-looking ride photos right here, I'm going to fill this in a little bit more at some point. I want to come over, I want to steal a piece of scenery from these ride photos. It looks like the attendant is cleaning it. Keep it. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab all this stuff from the Kraken ride photos. And then we need to come over here. What happened to my scenery piece that I was dragging? What? Okay, come on. Come on. Okay, so I need to delete that piece. I don't want that. And then now these should all be free-floating, yes? Okay. Yes, Planet Coaster live streams are fun. And, okay, we got two buildings. What's the, is this a building? How is this a building? What in here is a building piece? Nothing in here is a building piece. Oh, it's still part of that building over there. Okay. So I need to split these off from that building, and then I can use the freeform selecty thingy, and then I can... It's still two buildings. That's one scenery piece. Okay, now it's one building. Okay, good. So now all of this is part of one building, and if we go and we edit it, you're going to Disney in April, and someone else is going to Disney on Thursday. Is this Disneyland or Disney World? Or Disney, like, Paris? Move. Okay, so then we're going to switch this, and we're going to kind of just put this over in here. Little Skittles going to Disney World. Luke D is going to Disney World. And Mike says he remembers when I first built the Hidden Temple and the Kraken Voyage. Yeah, they looked... both of those rides looked like complete crap for the longest time. it took a long time for those rides to like flesh out and start to look good. It's amazing to me then that you've been watching for that long, and I'm completely flattered too, by the way. All right, so I got this like giant table thing in here, and I want to get these little pieces, and I want to move them over here. This is the projector and a couple of like the basic shapes, and I think the box light. And these are the photo printers. There's the paper and the tray and the top of the printer, all that kind of crap. So that's what that looks like right now. And if I turn off the torch cam, it suddenly gets very dark in here. And the little projectors are... And the little projectors are shining a light. So I'm going to slide them each back until the light kind of just disappears. Jackson says he remembers when those rides looked like complete garbage too, and he skipped a few episodes to the meaty stuff. I can't say I blame you. I probably would have skipped them myself. But part of my goal with this series was to show kind of from start to finish how everything was made, because some people really struggle with this game, and so I wanted to give people who struggle kind of like the hope and incentive that they could make cool things too. The table is colliding with our little attendant. Okay, so we're going to push this back. And we're going to push this back too. And then for anybody that's curious, I'm just going to duplicate some of these pieces. No, come on. So if I duplicate these, if you want to see what I made these out of, this is the projector. This is down in the scenery pieces down in here somewhere, and then this is the rectangle out of the shapes, just the basic rectangle, and then this is the box light right here. So there's the box light if the people will quit walking through it. Flights are usually interesting. I hate flying. Someone said that they're going on their very first flight when they go to. Well, Mike, somebody pointed out that he's very obviously cleaning. So he's cleaning. Is there a broom? Is there a broom scenery piece? Maybe we could replace his shovel with like something that looks like a broom. I don't think there's anything that looks like a broom in this game. Or no, I thought there was there is. It's a scarecrow broom. Okay, here we go. We're gonna give him give him an oversized broom. This would look so bad. This is a dumb idea. But you know what? I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what this stupid idea looks like. I got to get the angle just right to cover up his shovel. There, now he's got a gigantic broom. And he's cleaning. Let's see. Luke D says he's on a mission to try every single different Disney ride there is in Disney World. I only have the Rock and Roller Coaster, Mount Everest, and Tower of Terror left. Jackson says the animatronic looks like an explorer, so it's relevant. And Skittle says 3 best outside of Magic Kingdom. Fantastic. I've never been to Disney Park. How are they according to Jackson? Jackson's from the UK, so the closest you're going to get is probably Disneyland Paris, right? Okay, somebody, I think it was Luke, said they wanted to go on the Kraken. So let's do that. I'm going to pause it. And we'll get on the Kraken. Disney parks are fantastic. They're very well themed. At least I've been to Disneyland California and Disney California Adventure. A lot of budget goes into theming and hiding all of the moving parts of the park. Like you'd never know you're inside of a park in Disney. Is kind of like their shtick. The rides are generally not thrill rides. They're usually not super exciting. Like Magic Mountain or even Knott's has rides that are a lot more exciting than Disney. Disney rides are usually a little bit more less inversions, basically. Disney has a lot less inversions on their rides. When Disney California Adventure opened and they added the California Screamer, which I think is being renamed now, but when they added California Screamer, like that was the first inversion that they ever added in the Anaheim area for their parks, and it's only got one inversion. So Disney does not compete with the... They don't try to compete with the like crazy wild Six Flags type rides, but the theming and everything else in Disney rides is fantastic, and the parks are always very beautiful. It's a great place to go with small kids too, and then even if you're an adult and you just want like a casual theme park visit, Disney's really good. Yeah, I grew up going to Knott's Berry Farm quite a bit because my dad used to work for Southern California Edison, and they used to get discount tickets to Knott's all the time. So we'd go to Knott's a few times a year. So this little part of the Kraken Voyage right here is, like, I'm going to pause it real quick. I haven't been to Knott's in like 20 years, so it's been a while. So this little part right here with these two little shacks, this is like a straight ripoff of the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually want to try King Dakar, which I think is the fastest and tallest roller coaster for like 7 years. I don't know where that one's at. Okay, so we'll unpause it. Jackson, that's correct. Knott's is like a mix between Six Flags and Disney. So there are areas of Knott's that are pretty nicely themed, but some of the theming is kind of lightweight compared to Disney. But Knott's also has a nice medium between intense rides and more child-friendly rides. Yes, I would write. Oh no! Did it break down? I think it broke down. No! It's broken down. Hold on, we gotta speed it up, and we gotta get the mechanic to come fix this thing. Come on, where's our mechanic? We should have good response time in here. I have a mechanic, like, specifically for this ride. Oh, he fixed it. Oh, I was on the wrong side. Yeah, we'll look at the G-forces and other stats in just a second. Let's get back on the ride. Okay, I'm gonna start it from the beginning because it kind of sucks starting from this brake run right here. It's not very good because it goes really slow through the whole thing when it starts from a dead stop right there. So I'm gonna speed it up till we get up to the top of the chain lift, and then I'll show you the G-forces and the other stats too, since people are asking for it. In real life, this chain lift would give me like intense anxiety. Because the first part of it is so slow, and yet the whole thing is so high. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable until I made it into the cave here. Yeah, I have a pretty intense fear of heights, but I still go on all the tall rides that are at theme parks anyways. It's just they really I have a pretty good physical reaction to things that are really tall. Luke says the game is really realistic. When a ride breaks down, sensors turn on, the brakes at the brake run, and the ride stops. So let's pop out of the ride here and let's pause it because it gets kind of loud in here. So yeah, when you add whenever the ride breaks down, all the coasters come to a complete stop at the next brake run. This coaster model is a B&M Flyer. Skittle, I'm going to take your word for it because I don't know anything about coasters. I know nothing about coasters, like who makes the coasters, the original designs. Like I'm so far removed from any of that stuff. I know that Silverette and the Planet Bro Coaster guys, and to some extent like S. Dan Wolf and a few other people, they really know like the history of a lot of these rides, but I know nothing. Yes, Mike Booth says at the beginning of the series I was talking about building this. When I first started this playlist, I was very excited to build this ride, but this is a challenge park, so I had to do all the research. And I thought that this suspended Stingray coaster was like early on in the research, and so for like the first 40 episodes, I'm like, okay, any minute now we're gonna build the Stingray coaster. We're gonna build the Stingray coaster. We're gonna build the Stingray coaster, and it took till like episode 60, I think, before I was even able to start it. And I kind of started to get tired of looking forward to it because it was so far off. Disney's Company is by Vekoma. California Screamin' is by Intamin. The only other, Jackson says the only other manufacturer who built flying coaster is Vekoma, but they're crap. Totally confusing you. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at the stats because I think it was Skittle. It was Skittle or Luke asked for the stats on here. If I scroll up, it was Skittle. Okay, so let's check this thing out. The ride testing. The excitement's a 5.9. And we got a 4.8 fear and a 1.8 nausea. The excitement used to be higher. The excitement used to be like a 6.5. But then oops, a little bit of lag. I changed the coaster layout to add this block section up here. And I added this very tall helix and then the drop over here. The coaster used to come around this corner here. And it used to connect right up to this piece over here. And it had a 6.5 excitement. And after I added the block section and changed things around so that I could add 3 cars, because it has 3 cars on it now to support a higher throughput, more volume of guests. And after I did that, the excitement dropped to a 5.9. And if we go in and we look at the heat maps, which heat map do you care about seeing the most? Here's the excitement. So let's see. The chain lift, the beginning of the ride and the chain lift, of course, not very exciting. Not a whole lot of excitement until you get down to about halfway through the tunnel here, and it dips down to almost a flat 6. This little part here where they kind of roll on their backs and then dive down, we got a lot of excitement going through there, almost between 8 and 9. And it comes through the boats here, and then we got a pretty decent amount of excitement as they come around the turn here, and it starts to drop off as they go up the helix and hit the brake run. And a good amount of excitement as they come through here and loop around this way, and then go through the final tunnel, and then drop down underneath here and go through the little barrel roll at the end as they come out of the lagoon. The fear is not very high on this coaster. It's pretty low throughout the whole thing, and although it does kind of dip up and get a little high in through here, and that makes sense because they're going pretty fast through here with some pretty decent turns and flying through the scenery. Let's see, Mike Booth, I'm catching up on chat. People are talking about coasters. Formerly Arrow, they dissolved into Vekoma, says Skittle. Something not usually for Disney. Luke D says there's a terrible beachside coaster made by Vekoma. And Mike Booth says he likes Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa, and he built an exact replica in Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. Luke D says me too. And Skittle is going to be going near the Busch Gardens Park while in Florida. Okay, and then if we pop over here and we look at the nausea, the sickness rating. The sickness is pretty low until we get... until they go through this turn right here, because they're going pretty fast through this part of the ride, and so we get a little bit of nausea as they go through the helix and these turns in here. Not too much, though, as they go through the rest of the ride. A little bit down in here, but not too bad. And then the speed. So the ride's getting up to like 60, I think 70 miles per hour towards the bottom of the drop, or I could be wrong. Yeah, 70 down here. And they're going 70 around this turn and 60 around these turns. So they are moving pretty fast as they go through these turns in the helix. And when the ride doesn't break down and come to a complete stop, they're going about 25 at the top there. And another almost 70 miles per hour through this element down here, the loop. And then another 60, 70 miles per hour through the final tunnel in the lagoon. And lateral G-forces, not too high. Usually, I don't get lateral G-forces too high. They do climb up a little bit right here to 2 Gs as they roll over onto their back for this little dive. And then as they come around the turn right here, because they're going really fast, and the turn is kind of sharp, they're almost pulling 4.5 Gs. That's probably pretty intense. And then a typical like 1 to 2 Gs throughout the rest of the ride. We got a little bit of a shift in G's over here, and a little bit nasty over here. I tried to clean this element up a long time ago. Jackson says that you don't need advertising for the Rocktopus because it's always got a queue. Yes, it always has a queue, but I'm going to keep advertising it anyways. I can always take it off. And this is cool. Mike Booth says he built an exact replica of Kraken Voyage in Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. I would love to see like a screenshot of that. I'd love to see that. That's cool. That I would inspire somebody to try to recreate my rides. Okay, the vertical Gs. Whoops. Not too much. Hitting almost 2 Gs as they come through the tunnel down here, climbing up to 3. Rolling over onto their back, they get a couple Gs. Down in here, we're getting up to 4.5. And there's a lot of Gs through this turn. So we got 5 Gs vertical and like 4 Gs lateral. This area of the ride might actually black people out. I don't know. And then we got quite a few Gs as they go through here. And not too much through the rest of the ride. We got a little bit in here and not too much all through in there. And then the forward Gs is going to be like nothing. It's very hard on rides that are not like propulsion rides to get forward Gs. You almost never have forward Gs. What I want to say, launched rides. Twitch is glitching me out a lot on the stream, but I can't close it. Back to, this isn't Twitch. And then Little Skittle says he grayed out on Hulk last year. Well, is Hulk at a Six Flags park? I've never been on that. Do I have a favorite coaster? Okay, so my favorite coaster in real life, it's kind of hard to decide. You know, I don't consider it like a true coaster, although I guess it is a coaster. One of my favorite coasters is got to be Space Mountain at Disneyland. It's not very fast, but it is a fun ride. And one of the things that makes Space Mountain even more fun for me now is that I was able to take my my oldest child. She's going to turn 6 soon, but I was able to take her on that last year, and she loved it. So that was fun. So that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite roller coasters. Now, like when you're talking about what I think of when I say the word roller coaster, I think of like Six Flags. And at Six Flags, my favorite coaster for a long time was Viper. And that's because that was like the first roller coaster I ever went on when I went to Six Flags, and I loved Viper. Although, man, you bang your head around on the headrests on that thing a lot. And as an adult, Viper is pretty painful. I have to say though that Tatsu was a lot of fun. I think Tatsu's the one where you're suspended, like in the Kraken Voyage. Tatsu was fun, and X2 was a lot of fun. So, like, if I had to pick a favorite coaster out of all the coasters I've been on, that's like an intense coaster, it's probably going to be a tie between like X2 at Magic Mountain and maybe not oh god, what's it called? It's the one in Six Flags Magic Mountain that's over by their Giga Coaster. It's like, oh no, Twisted Colossus. Twisted Colossus. That's my favorite coaster. Twisted Colossus is insane. That thing was fun. If you guys ever get a chance to go to Six Flags Magic Mountain or anywhere where they have a duplicate of the Twisted Colossus, go on that thing. That ride was crazy, and it was fun. Twisted Colossus is a spectacular ride, and it scared the crap out of my wife. Six Flags Magic Mountain does not have a Giga. No, they have a now I have to go look. Is Twisted Colossus the one with the Top Gun stall? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I don't know. What is it here? Get out of my face. I'm looking in my web browser. I got an ugly pop-up right now. I got to go look at what it is. Full Throttle was fun. Come on, I just want to see the rides. Give me the damn rides at Magic Mountain. Okay, Thrill Rides. Sorry, the stream's a little boring right now because I'm over in my web browser. Let me we didn't get to go on Apocalypse at Magic Mountain because it was closed. Full Throttle, no, that's not it. Goliath. What is Goliath? Is that not a Giga Coaster? Okay, it's a hyper coaster. Okay, well, Goliath was fun. I thought that was the Giga Coaster. So I'm a dummy. Don't listen to me. I'm a dumbass. I told you, I don't know anything about rides. Twisted Colossus, though, that ride was phenomenal. And the best thing about Twisted Colossus is, like, it's got such a low footprint to the ground. It is not very tall. And the coaster cars just look like little rinky-dink cars, and all you get is like a lap bar and ankle restraints. And so there's no over-the-shoulder harness. And so my wife had no idea like how wild Twisted Colossus was going to be, and the whole ride she was screaming and whooping because she thought she was going to like get thrown out. It was pretty fun. So I think Twisted Colossus is probably my favorite roller coaster. Also, it's very long, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great ride. Okay, so let's see. Kind of going back to the stream, I can continue working in here and kind of capping off this building, or I can do something that you guys maybe prefer if you guys want to see any more ride point of views, or if I should go in here and kind of work on these buildings. I kind of like to get the yeah, she thought it was over, and then you go through basically the same ride again. It was a lot of fun, and I was just laughing the whole time. In Twisted Colossus, I thought like you seriously feel like you're gonna get thrown out every single turn, and the 0G roll that they have in it is very well done. It's very nice, a lot of fun, great ride. It's lagging. Should not be lagging. My side says the stream health is good. Let me close a couple windows I have open. Well, hopefully it's... Okay, now we got 3 people saying it's lagging. Okay, yeah, okay, I can see it now. I'm looking at my upload rate in my broadcasting software. It's kind of bouncing around. No, come on, connection, stabilize. Stabilize. It gets bad when I move a lot. Okay. Whoa. Okay, it seems like it's stabilizing. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to try to work on this building a little bit, and hopefully it stabilizes. I think it could just be my kids on their iPads. Okay, so let's build up this building a little bit more. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I could go out there and beat them with sticks or something, but I don't think that's going to fix anything. I'm going to go ahead and let's go back to the adventure theming here, and we'll hit X, and maybe I'll add a column right here. Why is it laid over on its side? No, I want it standing up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm a fast typer. One of the perks of being a software engineer. If you can't use a keyboard, you're going to have a bad time. Yeah, I don't usually beat my kids with sticks. Bricks are a lot more effective. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so we'll put a couple little columns like that. I think the stream health is kind of stabilized a little bit, and I'm gonna push this back a little bit. Dude, when I was when I was little, my dad used to fold his belt in half and like smack it together so you get that loud flap flap, and send me and my brother running, and he freaking denies it now. Like, oh, I never hit you with the belt. My brother and I remember different. And my mom, until the day she died, insisted that she never hit either of us with a spatula, but that's a bunch of crap. My brother and I both remember getting hit with a spatula. Anyways. Not that we didn't deserve it. Let's see. Don't report me to CPS. I'm just pretending. Okay, I don't actually hit my kids. They're too little. It wouldn't do any good, and there's more effective strategies for dealing with their behavior, anyways. And plus, they are like they're such good kids. I got two little girls, and they always behave. Whoa. Oh, my software just said it wasn't receiving any data. That's a lie. I am continuously sending data. When did I start YouTube? I started YouTube late June of 2017, and I actually started YouTube a lot earlier than that. I started YouTube 5 years ago. Over 5 years ago, I uploaded a Rome 2 Macedon Let's Play, and my wife had just given birth to our first child, so she's almost 6 now, and due to the schedule that I had then, I had some time in the morning to, after I dropped her off from to daycare, to like do some video recording, and I thought I would start a YouTube channel, so I started uploading way back then. And let's just say it didn't work out. My wife wasn't very happy with me spending time on it when we had a child, and so I didn't get to really grow the channel, and I had to set it aside. And then late June of last year, life changes, and I said to her, "Hey, I think Everything is bad for him too. Luke D says everything is bad, even other videos. So maybe it's not my fault. Sorry, Luke. But so in June of last year, I brought up the idea of maybe working on the channel some more, and my wife said, "Hey, that's a good idea. You should do it." And so for the past 8 months, 9 months or so, I've been working on it. Mike's asking if I've played Roller Tycoon Classic. No, I have not played Roller Tycoon Classic. This is the only roller coaster game I've ever played in my life, is Planet Coaster. Let's see. I want to go to the content packs, adventure, and I want to put like this little face guy in here. Just put a couple of these little things in here to break up the surface. Give it a little bit of texture. Let's see. So we'll set that one there, and what else would be nice in here? Just want to get some designs. Maybe we could do this. If we turn these on their side and kind of go up this way, this might look good. I remind you of Squidward. I guess I should say I've never really watched SpongeBob either. I was the generation before SpongeBob. Yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. That looks pretty good. Oh, the decoration reminds you of Squidward? Oh, okay, I got it. This thing right there. So we'll kind of do this. I like the way this looks. One thing that helps when designing and decorating is, you know, anywhere where you end up with like large flat surfaces, just break them up. You know, find a way to add texture to them, and then everything just magically looks better. Let's see. Can I? What is this? Could I work this hand in? No, I hit X. Can I work this hand in here at all? It looks kind of stupid. And knowing Frontier, there's probably no hand going the other way. Is there another hand that faces the other direction? I bet you there's not. Like, seriously? Why is there no hand that goes the other way? How come we can only make right-handed statue guys? Okay, well, we'll just do this and it'll look stupid. Ah, God. I can't do that. It looks dumb. Let's see. Let's catch up with the chat here. Lag, handism. Okay, the face is creeping me out, and I'm not in the game, so imagine what your guests are like. Jackson says he likes the Photoshop. Thank you. Okay, so the face is creeping him out. Maybe maybe instead of the face, we'll just do like a... Oh, why is this got to be so big? Maybe we'll do this. The feathers. Do we have smaller feathers? I just want a little bit of texture on the wall. That's all I'm looking for here. What happens if we stand this up? I just want to break up the surface. Okay, so we'll delete that one. And then if we... Oh, come on. It's giving me the bad axes again. I hate when it does that. And so there we go. It's kind of like an open air photo booth. Looks pretty neat. And I'll turn off the torch cam. And let's see. We need some lights in here. Oh God, those. They always look so washed out. We need to add some more lights next to this thing. And I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to repeat the theming that I already have. So I'm going to use this this torch, which is a standing torch. So we'll come over here. And standing torch is, I think, going to be in here. Ooh, I could do this torch. The animatronic is being tortured. Let's see. I just need a little bit of light in here, right? Let's see if I can get this a little bit... you know, it looks like it needs to rotate this way. There we go. So we could do that. I kind of like that. Stand it up. Tilt it this way. And go out. The animatronic... Yeah, we need a doorway. We need like a little way for him to get in and out of here. I'll figure that out in a second. Let me get these about the same height real quick. Yoink. Okay, so I like that. And we got good clearance on the monorail. In fact, we can watch it go by right now. And so, yeah, we got plenty of clearance in there. This guy, he needs a way to get in and out of here, right? So, like this right here, this should be like a doorway, is what that should be. They should put VR in this game. Yes, this is a game that would probably benefit very well from VR technology. Okay, let's see. What do we want to put on the end here? How big is this? It's probably too big. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. What about this one? Okay, and then we can kind of go out a little bit and like intersect the path. How tall is this? Like up to there? Okay, let's see. Oh, we can probably delete that piece and maybe even delete that one. The camera would give you motion sickness, though, would it not? I don't know. It depends. Skittle says he did a school project in VR. Took a while, and it gave him motion sickness. Well, what kind of project? Like a programming project, or? And you know what? Let's take this over here, and let's cover up the ATM a little bit. I want to try to hide the ATM. Why won't it turn? There we go. No, that's not what I wanted. Over, up. There we go. That's the height I wanted. He created a city in a game and formatted it for VR. And Mike Booths says his brother made a game for a school project. It's called Lucas Toy Story. Back when I was in college, I'm a computer science major, and I took a 3D programming course. And our project at the end of the year was to make a game, and it was supposed to be a group project. And I argued with the professor for like 2 weeks for him to let me work on my game all by myself. Because I didn't want to work with anybody else, because I hate working in groups. And I hated working in groups in college because you could always count on half your group doing absolutely nothing. So I didn't want to be bottlenecked by people who couldn't do the work. And the professor, he was like, no, you can't work on this by yourself. It's too much work. It's going to be too hard. It's too much. It's too hard. And eventually he gave in. He let me do it. And it turned out really well. It was a silly little arcade like shooter game. You flew over some programmatically generated scenery, and there were like little power-ups and things that you could pick up on the way that would slow down time or make your ship invulnerable and stuff like that. I don't know if I still have it anywhere on any of my hard drives. It was just a crappy little game. and I had to build. I built all the models for it. Not in Maya, a different program. I used some program to make all the 3D models, and one of the ships looked like a little TIE fighter, and of course it looked like a TIE fighter, right? And then the player ship, it looked like a complete turd because I had no talent for that stuff. But it was a pretty good game. Most of the people in the class were pretty impressed by it. The teacher was fairly impressed by it. And then there was one other group that managed to make a decent game. A group of like five people. They made a like a tank game. And what was cool about their game is it supported networked play, and so they were able to set up a couple computers and attack each other as their demo. And then the other 5 groups in the class, the other 5 group projects were exactly what I feared would happen if I worked in a group. They basically stood up there and said, "We tried to make a game, but it was too hard." So there were, out of like 7 groups that made games, there were only 2 games that actually worked. Mine and the other group. And because it is hard, it's hard to do all that stuff. It was a lot of work. It was fun though. It was fun. All right, I'm gonna sink the floor down here a little bit, and then I'm gonna sink down the animatronic, and then we're gonna have to sink down the broomstick. There we go. And so now this guy, he kind of has a way out. Okay, it's a tight squeeze, but if he wants, he can get out over here. And if we really want to, let's see if this will work. Let's try adding a fence. We can add a little fence here and see if we can make it look like a doorway. Maybe this one will work. All right, see, so we set this like right there, and then hit X, and then we go back over here and we find a plank, and I'm looking for this. And we just kind of go down like that. And you know what? I think we need one of these on the floor. And then I need to catch up with chat because I haven't been looking. And let's push back some more terrain so we can see our beautiful creation. All right, so I'm gonna. So there we go. We got like a crappy little gate that he can get in and out of, and there's not a lot of room back here, but he's no longer trapped. And I still got to put something on top of the ATM. I'm gonna catch up with chat now. Let's see. Jackson says right now he's programming a simple game. Jackson, I'd be curious to know what programming language you're using and what graphics API you're using, an OpenGL or DirectX or something different. Mike Booth says, same for me. There is a girl in his group. She cries for everything. Python? You're a crazy person. Little Skittle says his VR project was a group project, and he had to do all the VR part, and he had to use a sketchy VR program. Wow, you're doing Python. So are you linking into like C libraries? Because I believe Python can link with C libraries. So I imagine that either you're using a Python API for the graphics, and the Python API is what links in with like OpenGL or maybe DirectX. So that would be hard. And graphics, what? It's school homework, plus it's all I know. You're programming a simple game. Oh, okay, so Jackson, I imagine your game then doesn't have like 3D graphics, is what I would guess. And Mike Booth likes trains. Very good. I'm not going to argue with somebody's liking of trains. Let's see. You know what? So I think this is pretty good for a little ride photo booth. Yeah, it's a text adventure. Okay. Yeah, because it would be kind of hard to do like a 3D type game in Python. That would be hard. I made my fair share of text-based games throughout my coursework many years ago. One of them was in C++, and the other one was in C. I still need to put something on top of this ATM. I want to hide the word ATM. Oh, and we need something that says ride photos too, don't we? We're not done with this yet. We're almost done. Scenery, content packs, adventure. Do I want to bring in some of this real garish gold? How long has the stream been? I've been going for 70 minutes. And 60 minutes if you discount the first 10 minutes that were a complete disaster. Let's see. Need a little rectangle piece to put on top of this. Get rid of the fence. Content packs, adventure. Making Planet Coaster must have been long. Yeah, it's a pretty complicated game. They probably spent some time on it. I think they used the Unity game engine, but don't quote me on that. I don't actually know. Let's scroll up. And let's straighten this out. And let's just cover up the word ATM here a little bit. I'm going to turn on the torch cam again. There we go. And we'll duplicate that. And I'm just going to go around the sides. Let's see. I'm going to line it up on the bottom here, and then just go up. To like right there. What happened to the checkbox? It got really far away. So we're going to turn it around and do the same thing on this side, and just get the ATM kiosk all blocked in here, and then it looks like the ride photos are now being bought and purchased from the ATM machine. Pretty sure it's impossible without using slashes and I for the walls of a maze. Jackson's talking about his text adventure game. You want to use the pipe and the plus and the hyphen and the underscore. There's your text adventure characters. Oh, Jackson, one thing that you might want to look at for your text adventure is if your console, because you're going to be doing this on a console, and if Python, I'm pretty sure Python does, supports UTF-8 characters, add the attendance just for show. Skittle's asking, why do they need an attendant if they can do it themselves? The attendance just for show. I could take the attendant out. I was just kind of demonstrating that some people like to put pretend attendance in there. But go check out the UTF-8 shapes. UTF-8 shapes. Jackson's using it on PC. So, like right here, if you follow this link, these are a bunch of geometric shapes that will show up as individual characters if your programming language and your console supports UTF-8. And you could use these character codes to make other stuff. It's usually a good idea to look at UTF-8 characters for simple graphics. See, you learn more than just Planet Coaster watching my stuff. You learn a little bit about programming. You know, I think this is pretty good, right? I don't think I need to do anything more with this. You know, okay. I don't like that this blocks off the design on the wall in the back. So I'm going to lay this thing flat. I'm going to lay this flat. Also, it's a good idea if you're pursuing programming in general to familiarize yourself with UTF-8, simply because you could put more little symbols and things in your elements without having to try to find an actual SVG or ping icon. You can use UTF-8 characters for certain icons in your applications. And then also almost all internationalization of programs is done with UTF-8 characters. So learning how to deal with UTF-8 is kind of an important thing. Mike Booth says there is one weird thing about Planet Coaster. The path blocks you from doing stuff like terrain. Yes, that pisses me off to no end. We can see a nice example of that over here. Because I've already laid down path, if I try to do stuff with the terrain, it won't want to cooperate. Oh, that's too big. It makes this kind of stuff. I wish that you could intersect the paths in the terrain just like you can with the coasters, and then just go clean it up manually. Because trying to do terraforming around paths is a real pain in the neck, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Makes me go crazy. Let me show you something else I've been kind of working on off camera in between streams and episodes. I kind of filled in all these little planners here in the middle of the pathway. I don't know if I like these, but you know, I just kind of wanted to fill something in. I'm going to put some plants and stuff in here on these. And I'll go in and I'll zoom in on them. But the idea here is that the brick colors and the architecture is thematically similar to this building over here, the large building, and also the building over here. Excuse me. And so that's why we have the colorful brick. And so these are this piece right here would be a rough brick wall. Why is there something poking through? There shouldn't be anything poking through. If I can hide that. And so we got the rough brick wall, and then this on top of it is just the classic brick decorative course. And then these are chimneys flipped upside down and colored in a similar way. And then I went and I added the these are just the haunted house wooden beam, and then these little wooden post decorations. Originally, I had the wooden post decorations on top of all of them, but it was a little bit much, so I kind of removed some of them sporadically. And then for the mulch, for the gardening terrain that's in here, these are the confectionery coconut slice. And if your ground is wide enough, you can flip these things this way, and you can use the top of these for like mulch, but mine's not wide enough. So I just flip them over on their side, and I just use the side of it. You can color the top of it. This top bit right here, this is colorable. The back side of it is not colorable, but it happens to be kind of like the color of ground, so it kind of works. And if we come over here, if I can get the camera under control, sorry. If we come over here and we look at these ones here are kind of laid flat, and I'm using the top of them, and I colored them kind of earthy color. Doink. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to put plants and stuff on these. And let's see. Can I deselect that? Let me catch up with chat really quick. Mike Booth says he forgot that I did the food court and the pirate ship. Yep, and this food court over here now, when I originally did the food court, I built my own benches, and I've gone in and I've replaced it with the Planet Coaster benches. And my benches were much bigger than the benches that they eventually added, so now the whole scale of this is kind of thrown off. And so what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten this up. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, I think, and just kind of shrink the whole thing, because it's the scale looks all wrong now. Either that or I need to add more benches, but the scale just looks off. And going back to Mike Booth again, he says he's on the episode where I'm making the stonework tower for the Kraken Voyage queue. That's this thing over here. That's this tower, and I think this turned out pretty nice. I like the way it looks, and it adds kind of like a cool little element, you know, little tiny tunnel before the big tunnel, before they go into the big cavern. And I'm not sure if it's before or after that, but one of the other things I did in this queue that I really liked is this little kind of cellar which they can't get into. But as they go around the bend here, it kind of gives the illusion that this building is larger and extends more into the park scenery. Little Skittle says Knott's is getting a new coaster. And then going back to Jackson's comments in his game, his Python game, he's pretty much using a bunch of if statements, not the fastest, but the simplest. Yeah. And what do I think is the easiest advanced language? The easiest advanced language, check out Golang. Check out Golang. If you want to learn a very simple advanced programming language, see you later, Skittle. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. But if you want to learn a simple programming language, check out Google's Golang. It's really good. It supports multi-threading. It's got inter-process or inter-thread communication through channels. And it's got all the basic locking and stuff you would need for multi-threading. And it's got a very clean syntax. It gets rid of almost all the semicolons. Almost all the parentheses are gone. The keywords are very short. It's a lot less typing, and it's got a very clean syntax. I believe if you have a Microsoft editor that there's a plugin for Golang to get good syntax highlighting, or you can use Vim with the Vim Go plugin for syntax highlighting. And then other cool features of Golang is it has built-in support for unit testing and documentation of your code. I'll type them in, but via Go Test and Go Doc. So what happens when you write your Go code, if you put the proper comments in, you can start up Go Doc and it creates a web server on your machine, and you can go to localhost port like 8080 and you'll get documentation for your code right there in your web browser. So Go is a great language because it supports testing and documentation right out of the box. You don't have to use any third-party libraries like you do with a lot of other languages to get nice-looking documentation for your code. It's a very nice language, very nice language. However, don't use Go Get. Am I going to have another section of the park? You better believe it. Mike Booth is asking if I will have another section. The next section of the park I'm going to work on, I think, is going to be the center area. And in this area, what's his name? Christopher Baker, who's not here in the stream. He suggested that I make it kind of like a kiddie area with lots of colorful kiddie stuff. And that would probably make it easier to live up to the the name Whacky World. So this center area is going to be like a colorful area. I'm going to use some of the topiaries, whatever they're called. It's this stuff. Now if we go in here, topiary. So I'm going to do like some little colorful gardens with these, and I'll probably be using some of the basic shapes to do some goofy looking scenery and stuff in here. And I'll build like little buildings that maybe look like theaters and some other stuff. I'm going to hollow out this area here and kind of put like I'm going to fill it with water. So there'll be a nice water feature in here. And I do want to put one of the tall drop rides like right in the center back here. I'm thinking like the sundial or something. And this is probably where I'll build the park's first fireworks show too. Will be over in this area. I'll build a fireworks show. Although I would kind of like to have fireworks over in here somewhere. I've never used the fireworks. Okay, this is one hell of a name. LPS Kawaii Unicorn 9 official TM says hello. Hello. Hi. So anyways, that's going to be the next area of the park. Is going to be over in here. I've already kind of started playing with a backstage area, and here I am going to try to fill in some backstage stuff. And you might have saw it briefly. It looks really ugly right now. But this is going to become parking lot. Jackson saying for the western section, I could build a log flume and the river rapids. Yes, that is part of the plan. This is going to be parking lot, and I split up the paths in here. So it looks like the guests are using different lanes or aisles in the parking lot. Although they do tend to heavily favor certain paths over others. But if I lift this whole thing up, I'll show you what it looks like underneath. It's hideous. But so if we fly in here, I had to do, and there's one of one of my Let's Play episodes, like episode 93 or 94 or something, if you want to go watch it, is where I was doing this. But anyway, so I had to kind of like make these funny shapes in the paths. And then if we go into here where the parking structure is eventually going to be, it looks, oh, come on. It looks really hideous. But so the guests enter in through this one main pathway, which we can't really control without going into the scenario editor. And then I split that off into like a T, so it goes off in both direction. And then I made this hideous crap, and it gets them kind of flowing out into these other 4 main paths. And then when they come out of here, it splits off into these 4 paths. And so now if I go ahead and I do a Control Z and I put this back, this kind of looks like the parking lot. And when I go in and add proper lanes and like parking spot markers with the shapes and stuff, it'll look a lot nicer. And I'm going to change this ugly rectangular box into something that looks more like a parking structure. And so there's going to be like a parking structure with the parking lot. And I do kind of have a road system that I kind of made here. It looks ugly when you zoom out, but from about this distance, it looks okay. So I'm going to have like a road that comes in. And this road is like, it's going to go over the path here, and I'm going to raise up the terrain so that this path is kind of hidden. And then this road is going to extend down here over this way. And I'd like to build like a little resort hotel type thing. So that'll be over here in the Whacky World. I don't know when I'll be finished for that. And then all of this area is going to eventually change too. But the next area that I really want to work on in terms of rides and stuff will be over here. And then the western area is going to kind of be in this back corner. And I think I'm going to transition from western to more frontier-like over in this area. So this area will be a little bit more frontierish. And I'm thinking the log flume and the rapids will be kind of in the frontier area. I'll have some sort of minecart and train ride and stuff over here. And then whatever space I have left over here, I'm just going to build kind of like a Six Flag-ish, not very thematic, not very decorated, just like a couple wild roller coasters for the adults. But it just depends on how much room I have with the road that I'm going to build and how much area the western and the frontier area takes up. So we'll see how that works out. And I've been thinking about this for about like 3 weeks now. I have no idea if I'll be able to pull off the execution. But since this area might become kind of like a kiddie area, one of the rides I want to do is this thing, which I've tried to build this in the past, and like it's absolutely hideous. But this this stork, okay, this bird thing, I want to build this, but I want to make it look like it's in like a cloud castle, like a castle that's up in the clouds. So I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off. But I'm going to try to do that, and that'll be like the, if I can do that, that'll be like the main kiddie ride attraction over here. And like all my other kiddie rides, nobody will go on it. Nobody will care. Let's catch up to the chat real quick. Okay, Kawaii Unicorn says he wishes he could get Planet Coaster, but he's not sure what computer it works on. Jackson says his computer is sickeningly awful, and Mike Booth also wishes he had Planet Coaster, but he doesn't have a computer. I wish they had it on Android. There's no way in hell this could run on an Android. Don't wish that. I think it would ruin it. Same for console. Yeah, this game probably would not fare well on consoles. They'd have to put a lot of constraints in. The parks would have to be really small, and you probably wouldn't be able to build very large parks. And not only that, but the controls would probably be mind-numbingly bad on a controller. The controls would be rough. There's only one of those in the world, and of course it's in Sweden. Jackson's probably talking about that little bird ride I was just showing. I'm going to type it, but I'll say it at the same time. Anybody who wants to build a modern gaming computer, you want an Intel or an AMD equivalent that runs at like 4 gigahertz or higher. In this day and age, if you want to have the best possible gaming system, even though multi-threading is important, and so the number of cores is beneficial, almost every game is still eventually bottlenecked by by a single thread and the single core processor speed. So, like for example, in my opinion, if you were trying to decide between an i7 or an i5, and you were more concerned about budget, I would pick an i5 Intel that's 4 gigahertz, or it can be overclocked to 4 gigahertz or higher. And if you're going with the AMD route, I would recommend something equivalent with the AMD. Although I guess the Ryzens are pretty good. There's like, what, a 1600 and an 1800. And I guess there's a 2700 coming out. But at a bare minimum, most games can't take advantage of more than 4 cores. And most computers now come standard with 4 cores. So you're like almost every processor that you can buy that's an i5, i7, or an AMD is going to have 4 cores. And, you know, it's really just individual clock speed is still one of the most important things, because most games are not optimized for multiple cores, and most game algorithms can't be optimized for multiple cores. So there's a lot of stuff in Planet Coaster that can be optimized for multiple cores. However, every CPU core that's making decisions for the game still has to represent those decisions graphically on the screen. And there's only one core that can draw the graphics, or there's only one thread in the program that can draw the graphics. So, like, if I understand everything correctly, Planet Coaster is still limited by a single thread that's making DirectX 11 calls. And I guess newer versions of DirectX and newer graphics APIs that are coming out support multiple threads making graphic calls simultaneously, and until that's all supported by the hardware and it's commonplace in the marketplace, games are not going to truly benefit from multiple cores until the graphics calls can be made from multiple threads simultaneously. And so it's going to probably take another 5 years for the industry to catch up to that, and for it to be commonplace in consumer machines would be my guess. So let's see. Mike Booth says when he gets a computer, he's getting Planet Coaster if it's still around. Good news, Mike. Planet Coaster will always be around. Even if it takes you 4 years, you could get it for $5.99 on sale and play Planet Coaster then. Jackson says he tends to stick with Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 3 since his PC is like a supercomputer for those games. Good idea. You get the best possible experience. And Jackson also says he's going to upgrade his PC instead of buying a new one. And Kawaii Unicorn is going to stick with his PC. If you're going to upgrade a PC, if you don't know a lot about upgrading PCs, you usually have to do your CPU, motherboard, and RAM all together. And then components like the video card and hard drives, those can always be upgraded individually. So if you wanted to do a budget upgrade, you could do like a motherboard and CPU, and you might be able to use your old RAM, although it might bottleneck your performance a little bit. So I would usually recommend to do a motherboard, CPU, and RAM all at once. And then a future upgrade would be to buy a nicer video card. You could do that almost individually. And then if you don't have an SSD is really nice for your operating system and your games. And then it's nicer to have a larger traditional hard drive for storage and stuff like that. And he's okay. So Kawaii Unicorn's going to do homework again soon. MG. Does anyone know what MG says? You're the one that said MG. You tell us what it means. All right. Let's go. Oh, you know what? One thing we need to do. Let's kind of go back to the stream here. Okay, so we built this. Is there a floating piece of scenery? Why is there a floating piece of curb over here? Let's get rid of that. There's another one. Okay, those were from these. I want to make sure I didn't delete anything that I didn't intend to delete. Let me get right photos. Okay. One thing I need to do. Okay, it means my God. Where is the bridge? This one? This bridge that looks terrible? I don't know what to do with this thing. It looks so bad. Yes, I can ride Hidden Temple. Jackson says he wants to get his computer to process a lot at once, so I'm going to get more RAM and a better processor. Not sure if it works like that. Kawaii Unicorn says the park is nice. Thank you. Jackson, you want to have a CPU that's got 4 to 8 cores and anywhere from 8 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes of RAM. And then you just have to hope that the programs you're using are optimized for multiple cores. Most programs are not. Most games on average can really benefit from like 2 to 3 cores. Some games can benefit from more than 4 cores. And it's usually not unless you're doing like a lot of video and audio processing that the programs themselves are optimized for multiple cores. So the monorail, I've never ridden the monorail. You know what? That's a good point. I've never ridden the monorail. Let me really quick. Over here, we made the ride photos. And I had previously made the ride photos over here for the Kraken. And I have ride photo, a little ride photo building. I'm going to duplicate this. Excuse me. And I'm going to bring it over here. And I'm going to set it down. Let's see. I'm going to pause it real quick because it's kind of loud. Yeah, I'll ride the monorail, although half of it's going to be really bad. We'll probably have to take 2 trips around the monorail. This is my little ride photo thingy that I built, and it's not very elaborate. And so let's see where I took the screenshots for the photo booth for this ride is kind of like right here. I kind of positioned the camera like right here, and I took those screenshots. So this is where I want to put the little photo thingy. And I kind of just want to position it now so I don't forget. And it looks completely ugly. And I think this needs to tilt down this way. These are my pretend cameras. These colored event lights. So this is where the photos are taken on this ride. And let's lower this. And I'll need to set up some triggers for these too. Let's see. Come on. There we go. About like that is good. This does not need to be perfect. And I need to angle it down just a little bit more. Whoa, no, don't. Come on, it screwed it all up. Annoying thing. This one needs to angle down more. Can I ride Hidden Temple at night? Yes, I will ride it at night. Let me just get this straightened out. Okay, so here's like where the photos are taken. I still need this one turned down a little bit more. This one too. Okay, and then I need to do something with this because it looks absolutely terrible. Let's see. Oh, this is okay. So that one goes. Ah, no, are you kidding? It wants to collide over here. Okay, no, that's bad. Okay, hold on. We got to change the size of the grid to like 1M. Come on. Just want to move over 1. Okay, and then I'm going to slide this over. This looks so hideous. And what's this called? This is called the iron pipe. I think there's one that's taller, so I want to find that. Yeah. Okay, it kind of blends in a little bit. I'm gonna move this one over this way, and I want to turn it more like this. And then I want to move this one a little bit more like this. Okay, so how bad does that look? How did this one end up like off the building? You know, okay, what if I just move it? And what if I just reset the orientation? Okay, so we'll turn it this way. Rotate it down. Good. Now we'll reset the orientation, move this one. Rotate it this way. Turn it down as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll catch up with chat in just a minute. I know that people want to go on some of the rides, but I want to get this done before I forget. And I'm sure people will say something like, Superfiend, it sucks. Okay, and I'm going to extend this out like right here. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side with the tall pipe, because I like the way it looks. Okay, so there's our ride photos. And let's catch up with the chat now. Okay, ride the good bit, outdated though. Can I ride the Hidden Temple at night? Yes, I will. You've been struck by a smooth criminal. My mom said if I want to play Planet Coaster, she has to buy the CD. Kawaii Unicorn, you can play this part of the stream for your mom. It's at 1 hour and 41 minutes approximately. Games are no longer distributed on CDs. You download them, and that's just the way it is. Jackson says he's got, it's not so bad. He has a rack of CD-ROM games. I got a bunch of old CD games, like World of Warcraft. Well, World of Warcraft came on like 3 DVDs. Yeah, and there was a hiccup in my stream. It went offline briefly. It wasn't anything I did. It was just a glitch in the upload bandwidth. Okay, let's ride the rides. Let's ride a couple rides because people are asking for it. We're gonna do Hidden Temple. We're gonna do it twice. We're gonna do it once at night, and we're going to do it once at the daytime. So let's unpause here. Mike Booth says, you know Michael Jackson. I don't know if he's talking to me. I am familiar with Michael Jackson and his music, being a child of the 80s. Okay, so that's once. That's once. And let's do it again at night. And we'll jump ahead into the car in front. All of my major roller coasters have 3 cars running on them. Hidden Temple would be deadly in real life. There's a few parts that are maybe not so safe. There's a couple spots where the track gets kind of really close to each other, but I did check, and unless you're like 7.5 feet tall, I don't think you'd be able to touch anything. Like right there, the track gets a little close to itself. All right, so let's go look at how close it actually comes, because in a couple areas I know it does come very close, but in a couple other areas it looks like it's close when you're in the point of view, but it's not as close as you think it is. Like right here, dangerously close, right? Dangerously close. And we got a car that's right there. So let's, if I can get the pause just right on this. Let's see how close it actually gets. See, like, so like right here, being able to reach out and hit that pole, like, I don't think anybody's got arms that would be long enough. Like, you'd have to have pretty long arms to hit that, but I suppose if you were really trying, you could. But, you know, like this person's arm probably extends to here, and even trying to lean, how far are they going to get? You'd have to be like 7 or 8 feet tall, so... And then as they come under here, let's look how close this one gets, if I can get the camera position right. So like, yeah, that's too close. I should fix that. That's way too close. There's a head chopper. So I should try to clean this little bit up right here if I can. One day I might. One day I might. Let's see, where else does it get really close? It gets a little close right here, but I think it's okay because if the support's right here, I don't think they'd be able to reach that. Let's just see. Yeah, I don't think anyone could reach that. Oh, but it's not fun if it's not deadly. That's part of the excitement. Let's see how close we are in here. Yeah, some of this stuff is pretty close. You know, it's a little bit far, but it's a little bit close. Now to my own, what do I want to say, like disclaimer, I want to say that I used the tunneling on the ride itself to fill in the terraforming here. So the game said it was safe, at least at this part. Over here, this stuff, that's all me. I did that. Let's go ahead and let's see where it gets over in here. And again, I'm pretty sure I used the game auto-tunneling for this, but I can't remember. It's a little bit far, but it's a little bit deadly. Yeah, it's this is a very thrilling ride. You have to sign the consent form and the waiver. Okay, now this over here is probably not safe. Yeah, totally not safe. I should move some of this scenery back, but the problem is then it starts hitting these people over here. But I should definitely move it. I'll probably go through and like clean some of that up. Let's see. As they come around here, this is all okay. Now, oh, this might not be safe, but I don't know. The game let me put the track there, so yeah, I think that's okay. Now let's see. Right here, as they fall in. Yeah, this is not safe. I should open this up a little bit more. But then it starts to look bad. It starts to look bad. This right here is pretty good. I spent a lot of time making sure that this one was... nope, not safe. They could probably hit that if they wanted. And then everything through here and coming out is mostly terraforming. Although in here, it's a little bit close. A little bit close. If you were tall, you might be able to reach out and grab one of these. Kawaii official says, no, 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 no. And then in here, what a jarring adventure that is. And then right here, like this little corner right here, if you really wanted to grab it, you probably could. I'll probably open some of this up a little bit more. That head skull is them. Yeah, these skulls are previous passengers on the hidden temple that couldn't follow the safety guidelines. And then, so let's see back here. And then the rest of this is pretty safe. Okay, so we rode the hidden temple once during the daytime, once at nighttime. Somebody asked if I could ride the monorail. I think the best place to start riding the monorail is over here at the front entrance, because this is like where scenery actually exists. So let's pause it. And catching up with chat, Mike Booth is still singing Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. And Jackson says there was a 100-year-old coaster in England where you had to duck on the lift hill and could touch the wooden track. Yeah, that's not safe. Okay, so, you know, I don't know that I've ever really ridden the monorail. Okay, train 1. How do I get into the front of this thing? I want to get in like the very front. You know what we could do? Okay, scratch that. Scratch that. Let's is there a person in the front that I can just click on? Can I be you? Can I be this person? I can't be that person. You know what we could do? I think all the way back here, if there's people in the back here, I think people can sit in here. Let's unpause it and wait till it kind of starts moving a little bit. I'm going to speed it up. I want to see if anybody actually gets on this thing. Not many people get on the monorail at the front of the park. Kind of a problem. Yeah, no one's going to get on it. So here's what we'll do. We'll pause it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to, if I can click on the person, we're going to be this person. We're going to look at it from his point of view. My live is always loading. It seems that I'm having fluctuations with bandwidth, and that's kind of a problem. I don't know what the deal is. I usually don't have any problems with my live streams, but right now I can see the bandwidth is jumping around a little bit again. And I can see that it's jumping around a little bit again. I did an ARC live stream for like 3 hours yesterday, and I didn't have any of these problems. And I do live streams most weekends. Today is the only time where I've had like consistent issues with the loading. Okay, it looks like it's stabilized again. I haven't seen the stream upload dip down. So let's go ahead and unpause. Okay, we're off. We got this really ugly view out here. No, I don't think it's the game itself, Kawaii. I don't think that's the issue here. That's not a very good view, is it? And then it's going to sit here for 2 minutes. Let's go over here. This is the station that we're at here. Jackson's in the UK, so he's like 8 or 9 hours ahead of us. It must be getting close to 10 o'clock, maybe 11. Here's a good point of view for the monorail. We'll do this. Now, unfortunately, the scenery is not very pretty for this part of the park. Really, the only part of the monorail that looks good is when you're in the pirate area, and it's kind of short-lived. And we need to wait for the monorail to take off. I've got the game on triple speed right now. It's going to take a second. Yeah, 10:30. Here we go. We got some people in the monorail now. That's what I wanted last time. Let's wait till this thing starts moving. The monorails have like 2-minute loading times, and even though the game is on triple speed, 2-minute loading time seems to take forever. Come on. taking so long? No, 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 no. All right, let's wait till the monorail starts moving, and then I'll hop in. In California, it is 2 p.m. Okay, there we go. And let's see. If I can click on this person's going to have a great view. Yes, okay, here's a good monorail view. So there we go. As we come around this way, I live in California. So we got this nice view of the original stuff I built in this park, and then it's kind of barren. Are my trash cans all broken? Some of them are knocked over. And then we come up here. California is a nice place. Mike Booth has now moved on to California Love by Dr. Dre. Or no, Tupac. So here's the really cool view as we come into the pirate area. Man, it does look neat. It really does look cool. Going through the tunnel here, you can get little bits of the Kraken Voyage. Cruising by the shops. The ugly, hideous bridge that I need to do something with someday. Come through a couple more tunnels. And then we cruise into Pirate Town. Da 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 da. And that's about as exciting as the monorail is going to get. So let's fly over here. I'm going to do one last thing for this stream just to get it done. And then I'm going to call the stream done. Because I've been going for almost 2 hours, getting about to the maximum that I like to stream. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple strobe triggers where I put the little pretend ride cameras. So we're going to pause the game, and we're going to go into triggers, edit trigger sequence, and I'm going to add trigger. It's going to be number 6. And it's going to put it in the wrong spot, of course, and I'm going to slide it back. So number 6, this is going to be ride photos. And it needs to come up. Come on, get this way. It needs to come around. It needs to go back. And it needs to go like over here somewhere. Boop. It becomes number 4. Whoops, I didn't mean to close that. And, okay, so we go back to triggers, edit trigger sequence. We need to connect objects to the trigger. Sorry that it's loading again. Not much I can do with it. I don't know why the stream is having issues today. But I'm going to position this right here, and I'm going to connect these 2 strobe lights. And then I need to edit the strobe light. It's connected to trigger. No, that's not what I want. Okay, let's go back to edit trigger sequence. Ride photos. Colored event is going to be 0.1 seconds. 0.1 seconds. And what do we get? That's the one I'm looking for. Play for 0.1 seconds. I only want the lights to be on momentarily. So these ones need to be 7 seconds. Or 0 seconds. Why did I say 7? Okay, and if I go to nighttime. Okay, so we had the nice little strobe. That's the strobe effect as they go by. And then now we need to duplicate this whole thing. And it moves it way over there for some reason unbeknownst to me. Okay, where did the stupid game put me? Where am I? Moved me into this tunnel. Aggravating. Okay, so number 7 goes down, up, ramp. Come on. Come on, you little turd. Okay, now it's number 5. Come on. I hate messing with the triggers in this game. Oh, it broke down. Okay, number 5 will go there. Done. No, not completely done. Whoops. Right. Triggers again. Okay, so number 5. Actually, we only need 2 strobes for this ride because it's only got 2 rows of seats. So we're done. And I'm gonna slide it back just a little bit. So one will go off there, and one will go off like right there. Okay, done. And it looks like this ride is currently being maintained. Is he in here? Yeah, he's fixing it. So really quick, we want to go ahead and request a refurbishment. Sorry, you got to do your homework yourself, buddy. I did all the homework I'm ever going to do in my lifetime. Okay, ride's fixed. Let's go watch the little strobe for the ride photos, the little camera effect. Where do we want to see it at? From like right here? Where's a good spot? Maybe down here. So as they come flying through here, these 2 little lights, they should flash twice for the strobe effect. Except, is nobody getting on the ride? What's going on here? Okay, here we go. Okay, so we can see the car is going through there. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. It's getting to the top of the lift. Okay, here comes the ride photos. There we go, 2 little strobe lights. Good job. And then when they get off the ride, of course, these aren't real photos, and these are not the pictures that it just pretended to take, but when they get off the ride, they walk over here, and they can buy their little ride photos at the photo booth. Look how cool that is. I love this one right here, these 2 little kids and the little faces they're making. I should probably make these images a little bit more high resolution, but these are pretty good ride photos. She looks like she's going to throw up. This guy looks totally terrified, as does this guy, and I don't know what's going on with this guy's face. Who thinks line symmetry is easy? I don't even know what that is. It sounds like math. And I used to be really good at math. Okay. Let's go back to PM. Get the daytime lights on. So I still need a little bit more lighting in this area, but it's pretty much as decorated as I really want to make it. I don't want to go overboard and fill in all this scenery. And I kind of just want to leave this stairway kind of plain. Jackson says the photos are not bad. Yeah, they turned out okay. The only problem is they're like a little bit bright, but it's kind of hard. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for this stream. So what we did today, aside from all my yammering, was we kind of put together this little photo booth right here. I showed you guys like what I've done with these little center dividers going through the park, and off camera on my own time, I'll probably fill them in with some foliage and some plants and maybe a few other little things to make them look neat. And those kind of extend through here. And then as you reach over to where the Lost Gardens and the Rocktopus are, I switch it over to the wood. And so the wood theming will kind of continue on down this way, down to here. And then I'll do some of the adventure scenery kind of in these areas where these planters are. And so that's what that'll all look like. And probably the next episode of Whacky World that I work on will probably be finishing off this building in here, which is another ride photo booth. And where I have some ride photos in here and a little ATM, and we got a couple shops over here. And that's kind of how things are shaping up. So thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for checking it out. I appreciated everyone's time, and I enjoy interacting with you guys. That's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, and you have a good afternoon. Take care.